You ever wonder how people keep pretending like they've got it all figured out? Like they're just walking down the street, head held high, believing they've got a handle on everything. What they want, where they're going, what's next. They act like it's all planned, like it's all easy. And you're sitting there watching them, wondering if you're the only one who's got no idea what's going on. They talk about their big plans like everything's going according to schedule, but deep down, aren't you just waiting for the other shoe to drop? Because you know the truth. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. Not really. Oh, sure, you can try to control it. You think you have it all figured out, don't you? You've got your plans, your dreams, your little timeline of how life should unfold. You know, that neat little map you've drawn in your mind with all the dots connected, guiding you to where you're supposed to be. It's almost like you're living inside a well-written script, right? The perfect setup, the perfect middle, and definitely the perfect ending. But guess what? Life's not a movie. It's not a neat little package all wrapped up with a bow on top. Life's a mess, a beautiful disaster that never really follows any plan. You think you're in control, right? You think if you just work hard enough, plan well enough, and stick to the rules, everything will work out. But that's just it. You're not in control. You never were. Oh sure, you've got your routines, your little boxes you tick off every day like a good little soldier. But behind that illusion of control, the truth is that life's gonna do what it wants to do, whether you like it or not. And no matter how many goals you set, no matter how many strategies you plan out, life doesn't give a damn about your plans. You think it's going to play by your rules, but life's got its own set of rules, and they don't match yours. Sure, you can try to follow the path, you can try to climb the ladder, and at first it feels like you're getting somewhere. You get that raise at work, that promotion, that perfect relationship, and you think, finally, I've made it, this is the dream I've worked for. But then, bam, life kicks you right back down to the bottom. One minute you're riding high, and the next you're wondering what happened. And that's the joke, isn't it? You put your faith in the idea that you can control things, that if you just follow the rules, things will fall into place. But reality's got other plans. You're just a passenger on this crazy ride. And life's not asking you for permission. It's not stopping to check if you're comfortable. Nope, it's moving, whether you're ready or not. And sure, you can scream and kick, you can curse the heavens or the stars, but it doesn't care. Life's gonna do what life's gonna do. It's not even interested in your little blueprint for success. But here's the thing, the dirty little secret you won't hear from the perfect Instagram influencers or your well-meaning friends. It doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to understand it all, because sometimes the chaos is exactly what's needed to get you where you're supposed to go. You think you have to control everything, and that's why you're constantly disappointed. Because the harder you grip onto that illusion of control, the harder life pushes back. Life's like a wave, right? And you can't control the ocean. You can't control the tide. But you can learn how to surf. And the ones who are really thriving, the ones who make it through the storm, they're the ones who learned to stop fighting the current. They're the ones who let go of the idea that they have control, and they started living with the flow of life. And that's when things start to click. You see, life doesn't need to follow your rules. It doesn't need to make sense. You just need to be willing to get on the ride and hang on tight, trusting that somehow, some way, it's leading you to where you need to be. And that's where the real magic happens. When you let go of trying to control everything, when you stop pretending that you have it all figured out, that's when you start seeing the bigger picture. When you stop obsessing over the plan and start looking for the lessons in the chaos, that's when you start growing. The truth is, life doesn't care about your little to-do lists. It doesn't care about your 5-year plan. But if you stop trying to control it all, if you stop sweating the small stuff and start trusting the process, that's when you'll realize that life's actually doing you a favor. It's throwing curveballs your way, not because it's trying to punish you, but because it's trying to push you towards something better. The best moments in life, they're not the ones that go according to plan. No, they're the ones that catch you by surprise, the ones that force you to improvise. Life's not interested in your neat little road, because those are the moments when you actually find out who you really are. The ones who keep pretending they have it all figured out, they're the ones who get stuck. They're the ones who don't see the twists and turns coming. But the ones who realize that control is an illusion, they're the ones who keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. So stop pretending like you can control everything, because newsflash, you can't. Life's not gonna let you. And you know what? That's okay. Let the chaos come. Let the unpredictability hit, because in the end, the real win is not trying to control it all. It's learning how to live through the storm. You know, we all love to think we're in control. We love the idea of being the ones pulling the strings, shaping our destiny with every decision we make, every move we plan. But the truth is much darker than that. We pretend that we're steering the ship, when in reality, the ocean is doing the driving. Oh, sure, we try to map it out, draw the lines, take the right turns, avoid the bumps. But who's laughing when the storm hits? Who's laughing when the waves come crashing down and you realize you're not the captain of this ship? Not really. You're just a passenger. The real joke is how badly we want control, how hard we fight for it, even when it's slipping through our fingers. We try to organize the chaos, but life doesn't care. It's not interested in your tidy plans. It doesn't need your approval. It's going to do what it's going to do, and you're just along for the ride. So there you are, clutching that wheel, pretending you've got it all under control, and then bam! Out of nowhere, the universe throws something at you that you weren't ready for. You thought you had it figured out, right? You thought you knew what was coming next, and just like that, it all comes crashing down. Because control, it's a delusion. We think we can control the people around us, the situations we're in, the choices we make. We even try to control ourselves. But in the end, it's all just a game, and we're all playing by someone else's rules. And you know what the worst part is? We act like we know how things should go, like we have the right to dictate the outcome. But the reality is, sometimes what we want isn't even close to what we need. Yeah, we sit there, meticulously planning every little step, convincing ourselves we've got it all figured out, but life has this funny way of slapping that illusion right out of your hands. You don't get to dictate the term. You don't get to choose the outcome. And you know what? That's okay. Maybe we're all just fooling ourselves, thinking we have control when we don't. But that's part of the beauty of it all, isn't it? That's the secret the world doesn't want you to know. The truth that nobody tells you is that when you let go of trying to control everything, when you finally admit you're not the one holding all the cards, that's when the real magic happens. It's when you stop trying to fit your life into the mold you've created and just start living in the mess that's unfolding right in front of you. Yeah, it's ugly. Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but that's the point. Because when you stop resisting the chaos, when you stop trying to bend the world to your will, that's when you finally start seeing what's really possible. You might think that every setback, every failure, every disaster is the end of the road, but the truth is, it's just a detour. It's a chance to learn, a chance to grow, a chance to let go of that illusion of control. It's in those moments when you're knocked down, when life feels like it's falling apart, that you realize you're stronger than you thought. You realize that the real strength doesn't come from trying to hold on to control. No, it comes from being able to let go of the wheel and still keep going. It comes from the realization that sometimes life is going to throw a curveball at you, and the only thing you can do is roll with it. You can sit there and scream at the world for taking you off course, or you can take a deep breath and keep moving forward. You know, maybe we don't need to control everything. Maybe the real victory comes not from making things happen on your terms, but from adapting to the things that are happening on theirs. Because here's the thing, when you stop trying to force life into the little box you've made for it, that's when you find freedom. That's when you realize that everything you thought was a setback was actually setting you up for something much bigger. So stop fighting it. Stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Stop pretending you've got all the answers. Because the more you try to hold on, the more life's gonna pull away. It's gonna remind you that you're not in control. And maybe, just maybe, that's the best thing that could happen to you. Because in letting go, in surrendering to the chaos, you'll find the peace you've been chasing all along. You know, it's so easy to look at the surface of things, to glance at someone's life from the outside and think, oh, they've got it all together. It's that perfect little picture we all love to sell. We all look at the shiny parts and think, why can't I have that? But here's the thing no one tells you, it's all just a facade. A little mask we put on to make the world think we have it figured out. But inside it's chaos, it's a mess. Every smile hides a deeper struggle. Every picture-perfect moment is a fleeting second in a whole mess of reality. You look at someone else and think, if I had what they had, I'd be happy. If I could just have what they have, I'd finally be content. But let me tell you something, my friend, that's the trap. It's the grand illusion, the game that life loves to play with us, because the truth is that the things we think we need to be happy are the very things that will drag us down. You want the money, you want the fame, you want the life that everyone tells you will make you happy? Go ahead, chase it. But don't you dare think it's going to fix you. Don't you dare think it's going to make your world any better. Because it won't. It's the oldest trick in the book. You're told that you need more to be more, that you need more stuff, more success, more approval from people who don't even know your name. But here's where it gets interesting. Here's where the joke is. All that stuff, it never works. You climb that ladder of success, you get to the top, and you know what you find? Nothing. There's nothing up there except the cold wind and the empty feeling in your gut that says, this is it. And then, what do? You climb higher, chasing more. You want more. More approval, more attention, more validation. Because somehow, somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself that those things would make you happy. That they would fill the empty space inside. But the emptiness? Oh, that's not going anywhere. That void inside you isn't something you can fix with more things, more people, or more achievements. It's a deep wound, one that no external validation will ever heal. And don't you get tired of it? Don't you get tired of pretending that those things are going to fill you up when all they do is leave you feeling hollow? You see, here's the real secret, the one that no one talks about. It's not about the things. It's not about the image. It's not about the perfect picture you've painted in your mind of what you're supposed to be. It's about embracing the mess. It's about realizing that you're never going to have everything figured out, and that's perfectly fine. It's about giving up the idea that you need to be perfect in everyone's eyes, and that, my friend, is freedom. The moment you stop caring about fitting into the little boxes that society has created for you, that's when you really start to live. That's when the weight you've been carrying for so long finally starts to lift. You stop measuring your worth based on how much you've achieved or how many people you can impress. You stop running after an impossible image of what you're supposed to be, and you start being real with yourself. That's when the peace begins to creep in. And when you stop the chase, when you stop trying to fix the unfixable, you begin to understand something much deeper. You begin to understand that the answer isn't found in more stuff, more things, or more success. It's found in letting go. Letting go of that little voice in your head that tells you you're not enough. Letting go of the mask. And that's where the magic happens. Because when you stop fighting the truth, when you stop running from your imperfections, that's when you realize that you were never meant to be perfect. You were meant to be you. You were meant to be messy, flawed, and real. And that's more than enough. The real joke is how much energy we waste trying to be something we're not. How much we chase the wrong things, thinking they'll make us whole, when all we really need is to accept who we are, right here, right now. We don't need to keep up with the Joneses. We don't need to be who everyone else wants us to be. We don't need to prove anything to anyone. The only thing we need to do is take a step back, stop running, and let go of the illusion that the world has built for us. Because in the end, the only thing that matters is whether you can look in the mirror and say, I'm okay with who I am. And that, my friend, is the real victory. Let's talk about this little thing we call control. You know, the illusion we live under, that we have any say over what's really going to happen in our lives. We all like to think we're the masterminds behind it all, pulling the strings like some kind of puppeteer. We're the ones writing the script, setting the scene, calling the shots. Right? Wrong. The joke is on us, my friend. We think we're in control, but in reality, we're just riding along on a roller coaster that was built long before we even knew it existed. Every twist, every turn, every loop, it's all happening without our permission. Oh, sure, we can grab the wheel for a second, steer left or right, feel the rush of choosing a path, but we don't really know what's coming next. And the more we try to control it, the more the universe laughs at us. You think you've got it figured out, don't you? You've got your life mapped out, your plans all nice and neat, right? You're gonna hit every milestone, every checkpoint, and make everything look smooth. But then, boom, the unexpected happens. The plan falls apart. You're on the ground, face first in the dirt, trying to pick yourself up, wondering what happened to all that control you thought you had. Here's where it gets good, though. It's in those moments, those messy, uncontrollable moments, that life actually begins to make sense. You know why? Because that's when you realize you're not the one in charge. And that's the best news you've heard all day. I know, you're sitting there thinking, but I don't want to lose control. That's cute, Sure, control feels comforting, it feels safe, but let me ask you something. How many times have you had it all under control only for something to go terribly wrong anyway? How many times have you sat back, sure that you had everything going according to plan, only for life to pull the rug out from under you? That's the joke. We think we're in charge, but it's always been a charade. The truth? The real truth is that there's so much more going on beneath the surface. Stuff we can't even begin to understand. The universe, fate, destiny, whatever you want to call it, it's got its own game going, and you're just a player in it. You think you know how it all works? That's adorable. You think your plans matter? Oh, they do, for about 5 minutes. Then you hit a wall, and suddenly you're staring at the rubble, wondering where everything went wrong. So here's the kicker. The more we try to control, the more we miss the big picture. We get so focused on the details, on the tiny little steps we think we need to take to get to where we want to be, that we forget to look up and see the bigger plan unfolding. We're so busy trying to steer the wheel, we don't realize that the road is already laid out ahead of us, and we're just following along, no matter how much we fight it. And let me tell you, you'll fight it. Oh, you will. You'll do everything in your power to make things go your way, and life will laugh in your face every single time. But here's the beauty in it. Once you stop fighting, once you stop trying to control everything, that's when you start to see how things really work. It's not about planning every second of your life or obsessing over every decision. It's about surrender. It's about trusting that even though you can't see it, there's a bigger picture unfolding, one that you couldn't possibly fathom. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you let go of the need to have it all figured out, the better off you'll be. You see, it's not about having all the answers or having the perfect plan. It's about rolling with the punches. It's about accepting that you won't always know where the next turn will take you, and that's okay. It's about knowing that you don't have to control everything to get where you're meant to be. Life has a funny way of throwing curveballs, doesn't it? You think you've got it all under control, and then bam, the ball's out of the park and you're standing there wondering what the hell just happened. But what if, instead of trying to stop the ball, you just let it come? What if you stop trying to hit everything out of the park and just let yourself be in the game? What if you let go of all that pressure you put on yourself to win and just started playing the game? Trust me, you'd be surprised at how much more you enjoy it. But it's not easy, is it? Letting go of control. We all like to be in charge. We like to feel like we're making progress, checking things off the list. But real progress, real success, it doesn't come from forcing it. It doesn't come from overthinking every single choice. It comes from trusting the process, from letting things unfold naturally. And when you do that, when you stop trying to control it all, when you stop forcing every outcome to bend to your will, you start to see how everything falls into place, even when it doesn't make sense. Ah, you're curious about this one, aren't you? You've heard the talk, you've felt it in the pit of your stomach, maybe even deep in your bones. Ooh, life is hard, you tell yourself. Things aren't going my way. Why me? Why now? But there's a little secret tucked away in all that chaos. Ever wonder why the world keeps pushing you down, making you stumble and fall like you've been set up? Here's the punchline. It's not punishment. No, it's preparation. See, you've been running around your whole life thinking that you're in control, thinking that all the stuff you've been through is some kind of cosmic joke. Well, you're right in a way. Life is a joke, but the punchline isn't some cruel twist of fate. It's the setup for something bigger. You know what the real joke is? You're being prepared for greatness, and you can't even see it. All those broken pieces, those painful moments that leave you gasping for air, the ones that make you think you're about to drown, those are the parts of the story that no one ever talks about. They're the moments that nobody ever notices until they all connect. Oh, the irony. You're so busy trying to pick up the pieces of your broken heart that you forget to realize that those shattered pieces are the building blocks of something incredible. You can't see it now, not when you're stuck in the middle of the chaos wondering how you'll get through another day. But hey, life's been throwing you curveballs, hasn't it? Those curveballs were never meant to break you. They were meant to shape you into someone who is more resilient, more capable, more dangerous. That's right, dangerous. Don't go thinking for a second that the universe is out to get you. No, it's sharpening you like a knife. The trials, the failures, the loneliness, the chaos, they are all shaping you into a force to be reckoned with. You're not some victim of circumstances. You're a survivor. You've been through the storm and come out the other side. That, my friend, is preparation. Think about it for a second. You've been beaten down, pushed around, told no more times than you can count, yet here you are. You've made it through. You've survived when others would have crumbled, when they would have given up. But you didn't. That's because you're being molded slowly, painstakingly, into someone who can handle the greatness that's about to come. You can't see it now. That's the joke. You don't see what's being built behind the scenes, behind the closed doors. You're in the middle of the process, and it's messy. It's uncomfortable. It's downright ugly at times. But guess what? It's exactly what you need. You think you're broken? Oh no. You're just under construction. Ever wonder why things keep slipping through your fingers? Why everything seems to slip away when you finally start getting a taste of success? It's because you're not ready yet. You're on the verge of something big, but first you need to learn the lesson, and the lesson always hurts. You need to grow into it. Those failures, they're the lessons you needed to learn. All those bad decisions, all those missed opportunities, they're the things that teach you to hold on tighter the next time. You're being prepared for the moment when everything clicks, when it all finally makes sense and you're ready to take on the world. But first, you've got to experience the pain. It's like a pressure cooker. You put the right ingredients in, turn up the heat, and let it stew for a while. The longer you wait, the better it gets. That's the preparation. It's not about getting everything you want when you want it. No, it's about becoming someone who can handle everything you want when it finally comes knocking at your door. It's not about the destination, darling. It's about the journey. And that journey is messy. It's twisted. It's a whole damn circus. But that's what makes it so damn beautiful. You're being prepared in silence. No one sees the effort behind the scenes. You think you're alone, stuck in a never-ending loop of struggle, but you're not. Every step you take, every tear you shed, every heartbreak you endure, it's all part of the plan. The plan you can't see yet. The plan that's so big, you wouldn't even be able to fathom it if it was laid out in front of you, but trust me, it's happening. And when it's ready, when you're ready, when the timing is right, everything you've been working for, everything you've been pushing toward will come crashing into your life. It won't come easily, of course. Nothing worth having ever does. But you'll be ready. You'll be prepared, sharpened by every failure, every tear, every moment that tried to take you down. And when the world looks at you and says, "Who do you think you are?" you'll just laugh and say, "The one who made it through." Because, my friend, you're not just surviving this mess. You're becoming something unbreakable. Ah, the real fun begins when you stop pretending everything's fine, doesn't it? You know, the whole fake it till you make it act gets so old. So many people walk around like they've got it all together when really it's just a mask hiding the truth. But you're not playing that game anymore, are you? Oh no, you've finally started to see the cracks. The illusions are shattering, the mask is slipping off, and you're starting to realize something big. You're not here to play by the rules. Forget about all that nonsense about being perfect or having it all together. You're something else entirely. You've been told your whole life what to do, how to behave, how to look, how to act. They've got this checklist of things you're supposed to do, right? Get a job, get a house, get married, have kids, live the perfect life. But guess what? You're not interested in any of that, are you? Because deep down, you know that all that is a distraction. It's a shiny little trap, wrapped in a pretty bow, waiting for you to walk right into it. So, what do instead? You start breaking the rules. You start questioning everything, every little thing they told you. And I'll tell you, it's one of the most freeing feelings in the world. You don't need to be anyone's idea of perfect. You don't need to fit into their box. You're the one who gets to define who you are and what your life looks like. But here's the catch. When you finally decide to take that step, when you finally decide to break free, it's like opening Pandora's box. People are going to try to drag you back in. They'll tell you that you're crazy, that you're wrong, that you need to get back on the path they laid out for you. They'll throw their judgment at you like it's a weapon. And you know what? That's the moment when you get to decide who you really are. Oh, they'll try to break you. They'll make you doubt yourself, make you second guess everything you've ever believed in, and if you're not careful, if you're not strong, you might just fall for it. But here's the thing. That's when you start seeing who's really got your back. You'll find out real quick who's in your corner and who's just waiting for you to fail. The ones who really care about you, they'll be the ones cheering you on, even when the world is throwing rocks at you. They'll be the ones who see the real you, not the version of you they want to see. They'll be the ones who know you're capable of more than the world gives you credit for. And those people, they're worth their weight in gold. But the rest, they're just noise. You can ignore them. You've got bigger fish to fry. Because here's the dirty little secret, the one that nobody talks about. The more you break away from their expectations, the more you step into your own power, the more they'll try to hold you down. They don't want you to succeed because your success is a reminder that they're still stuck in their own little boxes. They're still playing the game they've been told to play, and it's easier to make fun of you for stepping out than to face the reality of their own complacency. But you know what? Let them talk. Let them whisper behind your back. Let them try to pull you down, because the moment you stop caring about their opinions is the moment you start to actually live. And that's the scariest thing they'll ever see. When you stop listening to the voices telling you what to do, when you start trusting yourself, that's when you become dangerous. That's when you become unstoppable. And it's not about being perfect. It's not about following the script. It's about being real, being raw, being you. That's the power. the real power. Because no one can break you when you finally stop pretending. No one can touch you when you realize that you're the one in control of your life. The world will keep pushing and pulling, telling you who you should be and how you should act, but you'll be so far above it all, you won't even notice. When you start stepping into that truth, into your truth, you'll see how much power you really have. The world won't know what hit it, but hey, it's their fault for thinking they could hold you back. You're not some puppet on a string, not some pawn in their game, no. You're something else entirely. You're the wild card in the deck. You're the chaos they can't predict. And when the world finally realizes that, when they see the fire in your eyes, it'll be too late for them. You'll be gone, doing your own thing, living your own truth. And they'll be left wondering what happened to the person they thought they could control. That's the real victory, isn't it? That's when you know you've won.